Here we go.
Hi,
everybody. Welcome to our Scavenger Special Edition Scavenger Hunt Day. Today, we're going to teach some quick tips to find the treasure in your relationship marketing strategy. We're so excited that y'all are here. Jennifer, what is Scavenger Hunt Day? Did you want to give us a little intel on that?
I was going to say, I bet nobody even knows, but there is literally, today is a holiday. It's Scavenger Hunt Day. And you're all going to say, what? What are you talking about? I'm sure you've all participated in a scavenger hunt at some point. Actually, I don't know if anybody would have any ideas, but scavenger hunts go back actually to the 1700s. Oh, wow. Where there were Easter egg hunts, and the Pennsylvania Dutch thought that rabbits laid eggs. Now, I don't have any clue why they thought that, but it's true. So that's where it started. But then over the years, it's changed. It's kind of morphed, obviously. And in the 1930s, a lady named Elsa Maxwell is credited with the creation and popularization, oh my goodness, of scavenger hunts. And basically, she was kind of a very well-to-do socialite. She had scavenger hunt things for her guests. She would invite them to her house, and they would have scavenger hunts. And I was just gonna, you don't have to say, but everybody, have you ever participated in a scavenger hunt?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think like Girl Scouts back in the day,
Yep.
Or
Yep.
some school things.
So that's definitely, so when we were talking about this, I guess we were looking at the calendar a couple months. Was it last month, ladies? We had one on National Hangout Day.
Yep.
Which National Hangout Day was truly the day they celebrate when you start. I mean, they have a day to celebrate hanging your clothes out on the line.
We thought it was people hanging out.
We thought it was people hanging out, something like that. But anyway, when you look on the calendar, there's always something to celebrate or someone to appreciate. So that's when we started with that, and that's the history. Now, if you wanted to look it up, it's always, I guess, going to always be falling on the 24th of May, which is just, and there's a history that goes back to quite a few other things. But anyway, that's what the scavenger hunt thing is all about. So we're going to tie that together here in a minute. Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay, I just love that there's always someone to appreciate or a day to celebrate. There's always something. We are presenting this today. Jennifer and Polly created an amazing group called the Appreciation Academy. It's a Facebook group. If you guys are interested, if anyone is new here and not a member yet, we'd love to have you. It has great tips on engaging with your clients and education tips, and some of the things that we're going to talk about today. It's going to continue to encourage that like each month. So Jennifer, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Jennifer Johnson. I am a relationship marketing coach, and I'm the founder of TTR Networking, which some of you already know that, but TTR Networking, you can go just to ttrnetworking.com and you can find out about us. And I just help people stay better in touch with their prospects, with their clients, and networking is definitely part of that. It's a real big part of that. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you're here. So go ahead, Polly.
I'm Polly Holzman. I am the Market Area Director for H7 Network. That's several networking groups around the entire city of Indianapolis, and we are branching out to Fort Wayne and Newcastle and some of those places as well, but a lot of in-person and virtual.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. I am Nicole Williams. I am also an appreciation advisor and also the founder of Start Your Blog. Start Your Blog is something super cool that I teach. Blogging is it's a marketing tool to connect with your clients, kind of like your virtual storefront online. It's a lot of fun. It's easy. And I'm just so honored that I have classes that I teach and I get to share others. So it's really cool. What we're going to be talking about today just goes so well with all of our industries. And that's one thing we'll talk about later. It's everything that we're going to talk about today about the treasure is in any industry that you can think of. There's always something in there that we can appreciate. And so Jennifer, what
Yes, ma'am.
exactly, oh, no, let's introduce everybody.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let me
Let's go.
stop sharing. Let me stop. There we are. And let's see, who would like to go first?
Just call on people.
Okay.
I'm off mute, so I guess I'll go ahead.
Margaret, yes.
I realized I was off mute, so yeah. So hello, my name is Margaret Broadus, and I'm here in Indianapolis. And I am an ACN independent business owner. And what I do, I'm part of a company that is the largest direct seller of essential services for residential and business internationally. Okay. And what we do, everybody on here pays a bill every month. So everything that we use, that is what I give the opportunity to give you more value and to save you money or to even be paid on those bills. We bring value to realtors and everybody else who's trying to help people live a better life, keep a little bit more money in their pocket. And it's one of the things we've come up with recently that I'm really excited about because I'm a registered nurse. We're all interested in everybody paying attention to their health. So we do have a health care alternative. It's not insurance, it's an alternative so that people can make sure that they are taking care of their bodies. And so therefore we can live longer. And also a big thing that we do, which I'm very excited about, is that we are very philanthropic and we feed hungry children. We have partnered with Food Banks of Canada and also Feeding America. So it's really a big deal now because schools are closing down now, and during the summer is when kids go hungry, more so than during the year. So very excited about that. So anxious to partner with anybody. I can work with anybody, and we make good referral partners. So yeah.
Yay.
Thank you.
Who's,
Awesome.
go ahead.
Fortune, would you like to go next?
Yes, we're just introducing ourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm hailing from Toronto, Ontario, in the heart of the city. I started off working with the UN, and that really opened me up to opportunity. That really opened me up to the 17 SDG goals. And when I did a little more research, seeing the power of not-for-profit in the world that we live in, I am now committed to the world of not-for-profit because it gives me great joy and it feels very purpose fulfilling when I see that human beings are working for human beings. And I think that that's what the world is about. So out of that, I started working for an organization called Breakaway Services, and they worked in harm reduction, supporting opioid and other substance users in their journey, not to recovery, but to just ensure that, you know, the substances they're using are clean, and they also provide therapy services as well. So I say all that to say that my role in both has been marketing, communications, and fundraising. Fundraising is the heart of any not-for-profit. Marketing is really key in the world of not-for-profit. And I find that with my charisma, my person, I can definitely raise a lot of money across different organizations. And I would love to help those who are helping others. So any resource that I can get in time, money, and talent is where I'd like to be. The reason I'm here today is to learn more about fostering relationships in marketing. That's going to really help me when I'm going to be working with organizations and with private clients. So I'm really honored to be here today. Thank you.
She did a good job. I mean, Margaret, you did a really good job, but she's really good. Can we get, I know we're not done, but could we get everybody to put in the chat, and we'll save it too. We didn't say that, but please put in your contact information. I always try to send out afterwards the recording link, and then obviously I already am thinking about people that should be connecting on this call. We're all wearing red. I don't know, Polly, you didn't get the memo.
I didn't get the memo.
Yeah,
There's some red books in the back.
There we go.
you're good. Okay, Nicole, keep chatting.
Oh my goodness. I am so pleased to present one of my friends, Dawn Evans Casey. And wait till you hear. I know you're thinking of this, Jennifer, a big connection, between everybody, but something about the love for nonprofits. Well, Margaret too, but Dawn does so much wonderful research for our groups, and just take it away, Miss Dawn. Take it.
Wow, can I live up to that? My name is Dawn Evans Casey, and I am aware of many hats. I am an auditor by contract. I'm an independent travel agent with Spa Travel. I'm a genealogist with a nonprofit called Claiming Your Roots. And I'm a chocolate lover, and am blogging through Cheerful Chocolate Spirit. So with all of that, I'm a leader of one of the TTR networking groups, and a believer of the power of relationships. And that's why I'm here today, to listen to the wonderful guidance and information, to continue to enhance and build relationships with not only you who are on this call, but just find out great ways to reach out to more wonderful people all around. So I love doing the nonprofit piece for TTR networking. So certainly want to connect with you, Fortune. So glad to see you here on the call today.
I think we lost LaDon, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we just make sure maybe she will be knocking to come back in again.
I don't know. That's kind of funny. And I thought Melissa joined us too, and I don't know where she is. So go ahead, keep talking.
Melissa, but Margaret, I do want to just put a little bird on your shoulder. I'm interested in the new thing you were talking about, the alternative, the healthy alternative. So we'll have to, we've done a one-on-one, but it's been a while. I got to catch up with you.
I'm very excited about that, especially independent contractors, even people who work in corporate America. When most of the time you can't afford it, or once you leave your job, you no longer have insurance. So it's worth checking out. Thank you. And I want to ask you, if I can ask Rick real quick question here to Dawn. You mentioned genealogy. So do you help people track their ancestry or not?
I help people start off the process on how they can do it themselves rather than paying and engaging a genealogist. I don't do genealogy research for people, but I show them how to do it for themselves. Yes.
That is so exciting and so timely. Our family is in the midst of that right now. So
awesome.
Great. Yeah, great.
Good people. Good people meeting good people. Isn't that the way what it's all about? Keep going, Nicole. We're good. We're good.
Yes, and LA, we would love to hear about you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
No.
Well, sometimes, folks are driving and they can't, I don't know if you can put something in the chat box. Feel free to put your contact. We're just so excited that everybody is here. So thank you all for being here. Let's see. Okay. So do we want to add anything before we go back to our slides?
Nope,
Nope.
let's go to our
Okay.
slides. We're good.
All right.
We're just glad everybody's here. We've said that a zillion times, but it
I
is nice
know
to
it.
see everyone.
Yay. Well, we're talking today about relationship marketing strategy. And Jennifer, what can you tell us about that?
Well, we actually, probably everybody has an idea when you're talking about relationship marketing, but there is actually, those of us, a couple of us are with Send Out Cards, which is a wonderful online, well, it's actually a wonderful platform to send out appreciation, kindness to everybody that you know, and there's all kinds of things I could tell you about it. But one of our fellow Send Out Card affiliate friends came up with this definition. Her name is Kathy Powell, and the definition is relationship marketing is a relationship management strategy designed to encourage strong, lasting connections to your brand. The goal is to turn prospects into customers that generate repeat sales and encourage word of mouth promotion. I mean, that's what we're all shooting for, correct? I would think. And that's basically, building those relationships so that, you're top of mind. You're the first one they think of when, you're just in the marketing takes care of itself. Building the relationships is first 80-90% of the time. The 10, I don't even know, 20% I don't even know many people who really do the relationship building the right way, who even are really selling. I mean, or ever promoting anything sales wise, because it takes care of itself. If I know I like somebody and they treat me well, I am more than likely going to give them an opportunity to get my business, as long as I know what it is they do. That's a part of it. But anyway, so does that answer the question, Nicole?
Perfect. Yes.
Cool.
Well, we have to, some alarming statistics, according to Kathy Powell. The number one reason a customer does not come back is they forgot about you. They forgot about you. 95% of your happy customers will purchase from a competitor on an impulse. And for each month that you don't communicate with your customers, you lose 10% of your influence. Those are shocking. Because, you think, well, I sent them a text a few months ago, or I, emailed them, a thank you a year ago. Why don't they remember me?
There's a couple other, and I know that Polly would probably have some too, but there's a couple other ones. What is it? I mean, all of us that are in sales, it's, 7 to 12 times you have to be in touch with somebody before they're even considering buying from you.
Yeah, before they say yes.
Before they say yes. And even at that, some people will not say, they don't know you. We all know that story. But so, those statistics, if you think about it that way, if you, the first time you meet somebody, you should be a little suspicious if somebody wants to buy it from you right that minute. I could tell you stories, but were there any other, Polly, would you think there's any other statistics that would be relevant? There's all kinds of numbers out there.
Those are the key. Those are the key ones, I think. I think it's the up to 12 touches, though, it takes up to 12 times for somebody to really kind of maybe make that decision.
And that's
a lot.
Yeah,
and most people stop after the first.
So, and I think the numbers are that most of us as salespeople do not go any further than maybe 2 or 3 touches at the most. And if people aren't buying till the fifth or all the way to the 12th or something, why would you think they're going to buy from you? You really have to think about it that way, and that makes more sense, but most of us stop. And I would just throw out there really quickly, I share this with other people all the time, and Holly, you and I both know a financial advisor who used to share in one of our networking groups that he reached out to the same person 23 times. Now he's a financial advisor, 23 times, which would literally be years that it took him to actually, and every time he reached out to this person, he would say, is it okay if I contact you again? They would say, yes. Well, how long? 6 months or a year. And if you think about that, 22 times, literally that could end up being a couple years or more. I know it's Keith, Polly. He used to share that in our networking group. And every time somebody will say, we get into these numbers, you're like, okay, if Keith had given up after, he would have never, and he got business.
I was going to say, so the 23rd time was the number.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's dedication, and that's politeness, and that's credibility.
It's,
so
yes.
That's really nice.
It's consistency.
Yes.
For sure. So you have to know that, it's going to pay off. And I think every time and I know this is kind of off script, Nicole, but every time he would ask this particular contact, is it okay if I call you or I contact you?
Yes, I love that. That's
so the bottom line of that is that until they tell you no or drop dead, no, I mean, you drop dead, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, that sounds kind of rough, but you keep trying until they tell you just to stop, or they unsubscribe, or they, whatever they do, but you keep going. So keep talking, Nicole.
Okay, well, our next thing is, so we've got these statistics. Where do we begin? We want to start our relationship marketing strategy. Where do we begin?
Where do we begin? What did we
backyard,
say?
Our
own
backyard,
backyard,
our front yard, our side yard, our circle.
So who do you know? Who do you already know? Who do you know? And the statistics on that are somewhere between 500 and I would say probably 500 and 1,000 people we all know already. I think there's numbers, if somebody's really quiet, not very social, they might know 500-600 people. But if you're really out there and you're networking, you're talking to people, and you're always, trying to meet new people, I would say easily 1,000. So where do you start? Has anybody ever heard of a memory jogger? Do you have a memory jogger? I know this is kind of, I was an insurance agent for years, and I used to absolutely cringe every time they'd hand me a memory jogger. Here, this will help jog your memory. And I would sit there and I'd look at it and I'd be like, oh my gosh. So we have a memory jogger. I'm going to attach it, but literally a memory jogger goes through every person. Who's your dog's vet? Who's your, all that kind of stuff. Who is your children's dentist? It's like everything. So have you ever heard of anybody got any suggestions on anything you've heard that makes a memory jogger better or easier? Or have you ever heard of a memory jogger?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yes, I use one because we don't know who we don't know. And as a nurse, I've met tons of nurses, tons of doctors who know somebody. And at my church is huge. So I know a lot of those people, and that connects to someone else or belong to nursing organizations, and which puts you thinking about others and others. And every time you think of somebody, it leads you to another person. And so it's very helpful. The ones that I have are alphabetical that start with architects and just all the way down to Z.
Yeah.
Love
And
it.
so a lot of people say, I don't know anybody, but you'd be surprised how many people you do know.
Right. So that's, yeah, and I'll attach that. I know,
Thank you.
yeah, so go ahead, Nicole. What were some of the other suggestions? Because the memory jogger was kind of I hate them, but
Oh,
they,
no, but
they
I
do the
love
trick.
it, and I love how Margaret, because the memory jogger could be a lot of people, but if you section it out, like maybe 1 week focus on A and B, or the one Jennifer's going to share focus on 4 categories, or break it down so you're not overwhelmed.
Yes.
But as far as some other ways the other ways that we could nurture them, it's like by text, you mean email?
Well, we're
email,
actually going to start first. We're going to talk about actually Polly was talking about fast people search. Can you tell us
Yes.
about that?
That's when you're when you're looking for an address for somebody, if you're trying to stay in touch with them, fastpeoplesearch.com is a fantastic way, and you can look up yourself. You might find some shocking things.
But it works.
It does work. And it's interesting because it'll take back all your, hopefully gives your current address. Unless you've just moved or something. I'm not sure how often it's updated, but it'll go back and it'll show every address. It'll show people that are related to you, all those things. So, yeah, it's a fabulous tool.
Does it have emails and stuff or not? That's not what we're looking at.
It can do phone numbers. I don't know if it does emails, but it does do some phone numbers because I've looked, and you can look up via a mailing address. You can look them up by name. You can look them up by phone number. So,
okay, phone numbers. Okay, good. Well, that was one of the things, because people may say, like Margaret, who said the memory jogger is such a good idea. It is, but and I know we all kind of like, but I don't have that person's address. Because really, if you're building relationships, and we're going to talk about it in a few minutes, you need to do a multitude of things. It can't all be text message. It can't all be, so you do need to, and go get those addresses. You've got emails, maybe you've got maybe their phone numbers, but how do you find those addresses? They might be in your backyard, but more than likely we're talking about somebody in town or across or maybe, who knows, but that fast people search. And then what can you do on social media? I don't know.
Oh gosh, you can like their posts.
Okay.
You can comment on your post, and there's even, because I just, I have been known to do yay, or thank you or something like that. But if we can stretch it to at least 5 words, is that right, Polly?
Yeah, 5 words or more.
Happens behind the scenes with the Facebook algorithms. So gets the post more noticed, gets you more noticed, some magic.
So is this, okay, so this is a way to connect with people, more people. Is that kind of what we're talking about now?
Well, because when you comment, others also see your name. They see, oh, Karen's coming.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? So it's recognition, you're supporting them, even if nothing ever comes in return, you're supporting, you're thanking them and acknowledging them.
So when you're doing this memory jogger, and let's say you get your child's veterinary, no, not your child's, your dog's veterinarian. That was weird. Pediatrician. All right, let's say that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the contact from everybody right there. We're trying to get everything, because we really do need, now the addresses are maybe, not the first thing anymore, because we're digital, right? We're all online, but probably one of the biggest things that people say is, I can't get the address. I don't know. And Polly said you can go to Fast People Search, and maybe you can look up certain things. There might be some.
Oh my gosh, I understand what you're saying now. Social media, you can DM somebody.
You can direct mail.
Direct
yes.
message.
Direct
I'm
message.
Sorry.
Okay, no, I think I'm
still in the backyard.
We're trying. Well, we're getting to the point now. When you said that, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You're jumping ahead a little bit.
Girl going.
But no. But But you can literally message somebody directly and say, look, you know, I want to add you to my contact list. I have your email. I have your, obviously I've got your, maybe some other contact, but people are not, I mean, I was telling Nicole when we were planning for this, I've only had 2 people in probably 11 years tell me that they didn't want to give me their address, their physical address. You could email somebody, you can call them, you can direct mail them, direct message, I'm sorry, not direct mail, direct message them, ask them for their physical address. People are not used to that anymore though. I mean, this is, you know.
Or mailing, you know, some have PO boxes for their business, or they prefer their business address. So, yeah.
So this is where you start though. You want to get contact information for your people that you're looking on the memory jogger, if that makes sense. You're using that memory jogger to jog your memory, but now you got to go connect with, you got to find these people's information. You know, I know now I've known Polly for long enough, but there might be, you know, there might have been the time when I didn't have her address. Now, obviously, we're both part of Send Out Heart, so we know each other. But you know, you can go out there and literally message, you know, somebody and say, I just like your personal address. I'm not going to. I always tell people, and I don't know, Dawn, you've probably heard me. I'm not going to show up on your doorstep. I promise, I'm not. And it's always kind of funny when somebody's in another state or something. But I just usually say something like, I'd really like to add you to my contact list as one of my VIPs. I'd like to send cards and gifts out. And if somebody says no, I guess you just have to think, okay, well then they're missing out, because I am a cards and gifts girl and I like to do that. So if you get somebody, then, I mean, literally I can remember the one lady who told me, right? She just said, why do you need that? And I said, because I send cards. And I'm thinking, if she's hesitating, I'm not really sure what the problem is. But anyway,
She's in witness protection.
I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't know. But so that would be, now what's the next question, Nicole? I think we had, do you have that?
Yeah. Let me.
Let's go back to the questions, because
Oh, how? So we talked about where to begin. So how do I nurture
I
who's
think you
in my
kind of
backyard?
gone through that a little bit.
well, we were talking, well, let's just skip
Well, yeah, we
through
did.
to-
We did. How
What-
about the 12 touch system? Can Polly
Yeah,
share
I'm
that with us?
kind
Or-
of curious what the 12 touch system is myself.
Now, wait a minute.
You
Now,
might
wait
have
a
to give me a
minute.
clue here on what you're,
Okay, now wait a
where
minute.
you were
Okay.
going with this.
Fortune, Margaret, LA, Dawn, Jerry, and Karen. Hello, everyone. Let me just say that when we were planning this, when we were talking about this, different industries, hey, Jerry, Karen, sorry. Different industries have different things that they recommend. And I told Nicole, and I know that Polly had mentioned a 12-step, but maybe that's not what the name of it is.
That's right.
I have, it's actually, it sounds like the 12-step or AA system, right? The 12-step,
That's valuable as well.
that's valuable.
Different conversation.
Yes, different conversation. Okay, so I actually was working with, or I am working with one of my realtor friends who is with Keller Williams, which is a very popular real estate company here locally in Indiana. And they are advised to do 75 touches a year. That's, you know, I put 75 in quotations,
To
but
one
I'm just
person.
to
To one person.
So as
One
they
client.
build their network, and Polly, I know, comes from the real estate world years ago, and she can tell us in a minute, whatever. But the when she shared this, my other real estate friend was saying 75. She said, now this is based on a year, but Keller Williams, Gary Keller wrote the book, The One Thing. I mean, there's a whole big world behind the Keller Williams brand and everything, but the 75 touches per year basically is text messages, emails, phone calls, cards, real cards in the mail. What else did we say? Oh, you could be sending cards and things to other people in the household, which would be a touch. But Nicole, we broke it down, didn't we?
But each contact is a touch and you want to use a variety. So we broke it down to 6.25 touches average a month, instead of thinking
Per
75.
person. Per
Right,
contact.
For one person, rather than waiting for the end of the year, trying to get all 75 of them in, plan it out per month. Some months you might reach 6, sometimes 5, but if you are strategic in variety of ways.
Exactly. So Polly, does that kind of get
Yeah, I think 75 for the average person, the average business person, that was going to be a bit much.
Right. But does that take you back to your real estate days at all?
Yeah. I mean, so the whole thing that with relationship marketing is, I'll use when I bought my very first home, I was the dream client for my real estate agent. We went out one day, we drove up by a house. I'm like, no, that's not the one. Walk in the front door. No, not this one. By about the 5th one, I'm like, this is the one. I won't go into why and all that, but fast forward, I was only like 27 at the time. And I probably had other professional single friends. I was corporate America. She never stayed in touch with me. And if you fast forward 2.5 years later, I needed more than this two bedroom or condo that I bought. I got married. We needed a bigger house. I couldn't remember this woman's name. She never stayed in touch with me. She didn't reach out to me, anything like that. So here I was already a client and I didn't even remember her name. Now I probably could have gone back and looked up paperwork or something like that. Just wasn't that important to me. She hadn't reached out for 2.5 years. I'm moving on. Bought my current house that I live in now, but she missed out on selling my condo. She missed out on selling the purchase of my new home. And she missed out probably on all my friends that I knew, because I went to my parents to get a referral for the real estate agent. So they just missed out. So if you can find ways to stay in touch, if it could be the nonprofit world, it can be through AC, all of these things. If you just find a reason, I try to find a reason to reach out to my clients once a month. I will say, just to kind of put my name back in front of them. In May, all my subscribing customers got at least a postcard from me, and I did the 5 love languages it was tacos, because I based it on Cinco de Mayo. So they got this funny postcard from me, no business agenda, no nothing, had my contact information on it, and I just put on the card like, happy Cinco de Mayo, or if I had somebody in the health and nutrition world, I'm like, I'm sure you'll find a healthy nutritional way to celebrate, or instead of having tacos, your tacos will be healthy. But I would try to, somehow relate it personally to them. If I don't, some of my clients, I don't know that well, but I still try to find a reason to reach out to them. So I think even if, you're reaching out once a month,
right.
If you can reach out once a month to all your clients, that's a lot, I think.
And you know what? That could have been what Polly was saying with the 12 touch. We'll give her credit for that.
Once a month.
Once a month. I mean, 12.
Math.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Word problem.
But think about it. I would just challenge you to sit for a minute and think about your own industry, what you are, who you are, what your clients. I have a son who is a son and a daughter, actually. They're not married to each other, but they and their spouses are now starting some new business ventures. And I was telling Nicole earlier, I said, I'm going to get them from day one. We're going to sit down and figure this out, because my son and they're cleaning solar panels. Now you're all probably sitting there thinking, aren't there companies that do the solar panels? Well, honestly, there's not a lot of them. A lot of the solar companies that are solar panel companies that put the panels in, they might do it on the end of it, but they're not promoting it. They're not. So anyway, this is a very big, wide open opportunity. And I can tell you more. If you know somebody who needs solar panels cleaned, I'll be happy to connect you. But I was telling my son, I said, you need to look at, what is the sales cycle? Kind of, I said, is it 6 months down the road that they're going to need to be cleaned again? Supposedly, when you clean the solar panels, the efficiency goes through the roof. But people don't, there's not people who are really, now my son's gone through some training and all this stuff. But I mean, literally, so your industry, what do you think would make sense? Like Jerry Karen every month, right? People are buying new product. It's everybody, Margaret, people travel. I mean, I'm talking about ACN now, but then I jumped down to Dawn. But I mean, when do people need to hear from you? Is that once a month something that they do need to hear from you? And if that's the case, then how could that be? If you talk to a realtor, real estate agents have a variety. They drop by with pop buys and all of that, but they really have mastered, or I shouldn't say every realtor, but the real estate industry does a really great job in at least, equipping or educating their realtors on the best way to do the relationship marketing piece. So you could get all overwhelmed and say, oh my gosh, how do I do this? But we've already, Nicole, can you kind of recap and then where we're at? Because I definitely.
Let me go back because we want to leave a little bit of time for Q&A. Seriously.
Hello again.
Hi, everybody. Okay, this one and this one. Okay, let me go to the next one. Oh, so here's the super cool part. Do you want to tell it? The treasure is your network, your backyard, and part of your business marketing. And the best news is you already have the treasure, and now you need to guard it and nurture it. Anything you want to add to that, Polly or Jennifer?
I think you do. I mean, it's just all about nurturing, and you can figure out your own time. I would say just be intentional. You need to be intentional. Nobody wants to feel like they've just been sold to.
So, and I would also add that I don't know that there's not a magic wand that we can say, here it is. Here's your customers, here's your clients, here's your prospects. The memory jogger will jog your mind. It'll literally get you started, but you have to put the time in to get those people in the last question is, what are you using in your relationship marketing strategy? Do you have something? If you don't, we would definitely have some suggestions. If you do, do you want to share, or do you have some struggles? I think that was kind of, where we wanted to be in the end of,
we want to do the Q&A, and then we also wanted to invite to see how we network and grow our businesses that can help you with that question. So I don't know if we want to introduce this just yet, or if we want to just go back and maybe do a quick stop share and see if Fortune would like to share, and Margaret and the others would like to share what they use for their relationship marketing strategy.
It's not like a trick question, like you have to come up with some fancy answer. That's why we had this today, because I think people might think, oh my gosh, everybody else is doing it, I'm not. No, not everybody else is doing it. What do you think?
Well, in the digital world, well, not just the digital world, but I find that email, having my email list, segmenting them, having a solid communications plan, will always be the major touch point. So I think that's incredible. And then it just gets on, then it gets to how creative you are in terms of just what are you posting. So for example, at Breakaway, we had a program that had to do with support animals. Now, I don't know anything about support animals, but a lot of what I learned is, people are more concerned, not so much of, the telltale stories, but sometimes the personality of the animals and how that relates to human connection. They're concerned about how they can help in terms of donating animal food, right? So it was things like that that really got the email list going. So I think once you understand your customers and you have them segmented, it's like, what are the touch points that are most important to them? And then just developing strategies and then A/B testing from there. Social is really important. I think it is important to have a social media strategy, something that's set, and then something that can fill with things that are that are off the whim. So for example, we might have had, we're going to talk about the latest news and breakaway and, latest programs, but then all of a sudden, somebody major might have come and, we could have had like a governor. We don't have governors. We could have had like the premier, we could have had the premier of Ontario come to Breakaway really randomly, just wanting to visit, capture that, put that on, the net, just continue to build from there. Or, somebody might have left us a review on Google, take that, make a post out of that, put that on Google, let people know what you're doing and, things of that nature. So, those are some touch points. And then direct mail. I think direct mail still works very much. There are some organizations that overdo it. And I'm going to drop names because I think in this world, we should be transparent. There was a time that Fistula Foundation, which I love Fistula Foundation. I think women's health, I'm a woman, so women's health is really important to me. But they were sending direct mail almost every 2 weeks. And it became really overwhelming. They just had so many campaigns going on and it was a lot for me. So I still think, but again, they're a large organization and they're probably, it's a pandemic and post-pandemic. So I can understand the frequency of emails, direct mails. So direct mail still works. I still enjoy getting mail from them, opening up, seeing what they're, seeing what's new with them, things like that. Another touch point, what's another touch point? Yeah, I think that those in the digital world that we live in, those are the three major ones. And I think that,
I love that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yes, it's very exciting. Anybody else? What do you guys think? Karen, Jerry, what do you guys do? Margaret, what do you do? What do you do, Dawn?
You know what? We follow up more with telephone calls and emails, but you know what? I have to send out cards more frequently. I know I get such great reactions when I send out cards. I'm not doing it, certainly not doing it once a month. I'm certainly not hitting my customers,
Well, and so the other, and I guess what I would just say is, this is definitely something we wanted to make sure people know about send out cards, and we will put the link. So Fortune, if you don't know, and I know Margaret might, but Send Out Cards is actually the name of the company, but it's part of the system. It's not, so I don't want you to feel like, oh, Jerry or Karen and Jerry, I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not sending a card once a month. That's not necessarily, but it is just to have something, a plan, and be intentional about it. Sometimes, and Fortune even just said that it's nice to get that physical piece of mail, and she's in the digital world. I would love to. Fortune, we're going to have to talk, because not only is your name Fortune, which makes me feel very positive about the future, but we here in Indiana, we need to know somebody named Positive. Fortune, I don't even know what I'm saying. But I'm so glad you're on the call today, because you bring a different perspective. We're all here basically. I don't know who LA is, but the rest of us are all here in Indiana. So glad that you were on today, and I will send this out. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Anybody, Karen, you guys are doing well. You guys got a lot of things going on. It's just I don't want you to feel defeated, like you're not doing
Oh,
it.
no, definitely not defeated. I'm just saying that I would like to use send out cards more frequently. I know when I send out cards to people and send out a gift, people are thrilled. I mean, everybody responds immediately and say, oh my gosh, that was so great.
Yeah.
So that's just something that I need to have that I need to do better. But yeah, as I always say, the fortune is in the follow-up.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's yes. So Nicole, why don't you take us to that last page of that, because I do want to, I will include that in the email follow-up. I don't know if anybody else wanted to add anything, but we have a
Yep.
number of
Some dates.
opportunities.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. So actually, if you don't know why you should network for your business, please join us on Thursday. Why aren't you networking? You got to build your network. We would love to have you, and I will send out the, and that is, I am the founder of TTR Networking, which is To the Rescue Networking, and we actually have 14 groups here in the Indiana area, but we have people from all over the place. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be here in Indiana. And that's on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. And then Nicole, you want to tell them about yours?
Yes, on Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern, we have Cards and Chill. We like to call it social time online as we celebrate others. So, it's 9 a.m. Eastern. You might have a name or two, and even if you can't think of anyone, we kind of toss around ideas and themes like teacher appreciation, or maybe somebody who serviced your car, something just to, the idea is the law of attraction. You just send it out and love on them, appreciate them. Simple, fun card. Or, you bring your own, whatever you have, it doesn't have to be sent out cards. It's fast. It's fast and easy. They do the stamps, they address them, so you just, so we have that. So it's a lot of fun. So, Fridays, and you'll include the link for that too in the email. Jennifer?
Include the link for that. Nicole leads that. And then every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Right here, well, at this time frame, there's actually a different line to do it. But we have our group called Appreciation Academy, and we would love to have you join if you'd like to come in. And we do talk a lot about relationship marketing and send out cards, and there's a whole company called Greener Skill. We could tell you about that, but really we meet weekly to educate and update on how to grow your business with tangible touches and all kinds of touches. It sounds weird, you know what I'm talking about. So.
And then, so we kind of did things a little, we did the Q&A. We want to thank everybody so much for sharing your time with us today. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about that treasure that you've had all along and what you can do with how you can nurture it. But I think that Jennifer has a prize that she might want to give away today.
Well, let's see. I think, does anybody, we're going to ask you to put it in the chat. And I think everybody was on long enough, but can you please put in the chat, the first one to put it in there. The Keller Williams, how many times, what is the number that they say you need to touch people? That sounds funny.
What'd you say, 75?
They're all, yes, there we go. I think it was Jerry and Karen, I think got it first. And Jerry and Karen, I will send you out something. I can't tell you what it is because I don't know yet. I'm being completely transparent. That's what we are here in this networking organization or meeting today. Thank you for being on. Anybody got anything they would like? Thank you, Nicole. Anybody want to share anything? If you did not put your contact number information, please do. And we would love to, connect with you online and all of that stuff. But, I guess the number one thing would be, you got to have something in place. You should do something. Be intentional, be who you are, be consistent, and have fun with your treasure, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Well,
Everybody,
thank you so
thank you.
much, Jennifer,
Thank you,
Polly,
Dawn.
everybody.
Everybody
Dawn,
have a great
Fortune.
afternoon. Nice to
Thank
meet
you,
you.
everyone.
Everybody take
Likewise, nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Bye.
care. Be safe.
Thank
You
you
as
so
well.
much.
Okay.
All right. Bye, Fortune. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you. All right, we're done here.